Hope you're doing good. Micah back with another video. Back here to talk about the tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to try to do everything on the watch to show you guys how 99% of the customization and the tips and tricks can be formed on watch. And there's only about 1% of things that has to be kind of more or less diverted to the actual phone. But you can do, again, 99% of this stuff also on the phone if you wanted to. But what we're going to do is actually try to rock out on the actual watch and show you guys these tips and tricks. So the first thing I actually want to show you guys is actually how to set up the watch for what wrist you want to wear it on. So if we swipe up here, we go into settings, and then we're going to hit general. And in general, we're going to have the option here to do orientation. And so if we click on orientation, you're going to see right there you have the option to pick what wrist you want to wear it on and the button position, such as the left or right. I know I saw some comments in one of my videos saying I was wearing the watch upside down. That is not the case. I just reoriented the watch. There is no upside down or right side up for smartwatches nowadays, because a lot of them come with the option to actually set up the watch according to what wrist you're wearing. And as you see here, the screen orientation will change based on your choices. For accurate ECG measurements, choose the orientation that matches how you wear your watch. And so sometimes for myself personally, I might double wrist up. So I'll move my smartwatch to my left wrist. I'll change the orientation, and then I'll wear a classic timepiece on my right wrist because I am left hand dominant. I'm really more ambidextrous, but I'm left hand dominant. So I will wear watches on my right wrist. And that's why you see me wearing the watch on my right wrist. But that is how you can actually change your orientation even after setting up the watch initially, because it should already give you that option during setup to set the watch up that way. The next tip is in terms of watch faces. And I'm just going to give you guys an example of one or two, but you can actually adjust the watch face to look completely different than what it may originally start out as. And so one of the things I'll do here is maybe showcase on the phone how one watch face can start off in one way and then end up completely different. So for the purposes of this, we're going to come in here and select one of the watch faces. And we're going to select one of the more default watch faces, and that's going to be the watch analog face. So this is more or less what it would look like defaulted. I kept pretty much everything, all the or most of the complications here, but you can actually change this watch face to look completely different. So if I click on this watch face, you're going to see that it's now the watch face here on the watch. And for me, you're going to see a lot of orange accenting on my watch faces to just match the general orange accenting. Sometimes just all the other color can just throw it off. And so for those reasons, you're going to see me rocking orange a lot. But let's say this is the watch face we have. This is more or less default, right? Now you can be a little more defaulty looking like this, right? But pre-made watch faces will give you an idea of how much you can actually customize and change the look altogether. Now, this is more or less where we were at. Now let's say I don't want all of this. I want to change this watch face completely. Well, what we're going to do is come in here to index, and right away I can keep the compass on the outside or get rid of the compass altogether. So now you see that the compass is now gone. It's already simplified the look. Now, if I come in here to style, I like the metallic look because it makes it look a little more realistic. You can go solid and have an actual color. You can do solid color where it changes everything. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to show you how to change it to make it look completely different. The color I'm going to stick with is the black or grayish color. But you notice when you do metallic, you can change it to be anything. And these are the different watch faces you can have. And so as you see with that there, I think we're going to go back here. We might even do something like that. But we're going to go back to black just so it's a lot easier to be seen. Hands, I can change my hands. So if I want to do those custom hands, I can. If I want solid hands, I can also go solid hands. Now, in terms of night mode, I have it on off. But what I might do is actually just do auto. So that way it will automatically turn to a red and black watch face to provide less strain on the eyes and calm the display down at night or in dark settings. So that way my eyes aren't affected and I can, my biological clock will still allow me to go to sleep properly. Now, in terms of the complications, this is where it gets interesting. See, right now it's on moon phase, but I can change it to date and it looks clean like that. I can also come down here and change it to temperature, and now it's got the temperature up there. Or I can do detailed weather, where it just gives you a hint at all of the weather information. Or maybe I just do weather, and weather would just show the indication of what it looks like outside, which I guess you could say is cloudy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of it. So I'm going to hit none. See, now it's gone. All of that is gone. The next complication is that middle complication. I'm going to swipe down and I'm going to do none. I'm going to swipe over here, go over here to none, and boom, none. Hit the next complication, none. So now I just have these outer complications, and if I wanted to, I could leave them, but you can see how this watch face looks nothing like the default watch face after you provide some customization to it. And I get rid of that. And then I get rid of this one. And then I get rid of this one. And as you see, there's a lot of complications you can choose from. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can simplify a watch face to look completely different from the defaulted watch face. So now I have a nice, clean, all black watch face with the little orange seconds hand with no problems. And this is what watch analog can look like. You can almost turn it into a simple ultra watch face just by eliminating all of those features right there. And so for this, I think I already have one like this. So I think I'm going ahead and just back on out. But this is an example of, if I wanted to, I could save it. I'm going to discard the changes because I like the watch face I currently have. So I'm going to discard changes. But this is what my current watch face looks like. But you see how it completely changed and looked completely clean. You can customize watch faces, and I will, and if anything, leave it down in the comment section below, and I can do a more detailed watch face video doing other watch faces outside of just the watch analog. So if you're interested in that, let me know down in the comment section below. Now back to on wrist. As we see here, I forgot to change my watch face back to what I was actually using. I like this one right here. This is beautiful. Now let's talk about gestures. And that's one of the things that makes this watch ultra is the fact that you can do gestures to control some activity. Now, some of these gestures were already here with previous watches, but they've added an additional ability. So if we swipe up here into settings, go to buttons and gestures. If we scroll down here, we have the option once to do double pinch. And as you see, we'll show you a double pinch icon in places where you can use this gesture. So if this was on and I had a notification, I don't know if I do or not, but let's say I turn this on and it shows you right here what it will do. Double tap and you're good. So let's actually try it. So double tap your index finger and thumb twice. You got it. As you guys can see, I'm gonna do it again. Boom. So all I had to do was double tap. Oh, it exited. My bad. Boom. As you guys can see, it's working just fine. So you have the ability to do this, and some notifications will allow you to actually send away or dismiss notifications with the double pinch. You also have the ability to shake to dismiss. So shake to dismiss, as you guys see by the icon right there, you can rotate your wrist to decline incoming calls or dismiss alerts such as alarms and reminders. And all it is a simple twist just like that, and you'll be good to go. Now, do they give you an option to try it? They do. So I do that. Boom, you got it. See how easy that is? And not a lot of effort. It's just a simple twist of the wrist, and you're good to go there. You also have the ability to knock knock. So knock knock allows you to bend your wrist down, and this will help you to do quick launches. So upon trying it, do that. So it's fast. You got to do it fast. As you guys can see there, do it fast. and you're good to go there. So there's, again, some gestures that you're able to do with the watch that allows you to bring some of that ultra-ness out of your watch in terms of tips and tricks. Now, there's one extra one I would actually like to show you guys. It's in general, and this is, again, kind of gesture-based, but this is also to kind of bring back the rotating bezels. So if we come in here and we go into general, you have touch bezel right here. And touch bezel, if you turn it on, you'll get vibrational feedback, but now you can rotate around the edge of the panel. So not here per se, but within, around the edge of the watch screen to scroll quickly. So if you turn this on, now what you can do is do this. See, now I wish it would have been on the actual display. I actually would have liked that. But for those reasons, I don't like using it because it just adds much more smudges on my screen. But if that's not something you're worried about, turn on touch bezel to get some more gestures and to bring back some resemblance of the rotating bezel Samsung had on the Galaxy watches. Now, the elephant in the room, the quick button. How can we utilize this to the best of our abilities? Well, if we come back in here to buttons and gestures, I passed it. Come back into button and gestures. Now you have the quick button. And this is where you can have some fun with the quick button. So now what you can do is actually click on action. And then by clicking on action, you can actually decide what you want to launch with the quick button. So right now, for me, I have it on my exercises. So if I double tap, it's going to open up all my exercises. But if I press back and go into settings, you can actually choose a specific workout, a specific exercise if you wanted to instead. So if you're real consistent using your watch with specific workouts or just situation scenarios, you'll be good to do that with the watch. You can also do other things such as a stopwatch or the flashlight, water lock, or nothing. You can just have it just be a button and just it's an accent on your watch. Now, if you back out of there, what you can also do is change your start action. So you can change it from short press to double press. I changed it to double press because when trying to take these watch bands off, it can be difficult and you just inadvertently be pressing this button. So if I have it on double press, it'll at least stop the watch from always activating that when I'm trying to do my watch bands. You also have siren, and if you press and hold for 5 seconds, it will activate the siren. And this is kind of like one of those SOS features where, like, if you're in danger, you're in need of assistance, you press and hold for 5 seconds, and you're gonna see siren pop up. Now, right now, mine's on vibrate. Oh, there you go. So you could probably hear it. That's the siren. And then you can do this to swipe away or press it. Oh, it can get even louder. So there you go. So as you guys can see, siren has a couple capabilities there to be able to ensure that you can get some help as soon as possible all through your Samsung Galaxy Watch. Now, what about your home button and your back button? Well, hitting settings, if you come back into buttons and gestures, you'll also see the ability to actually change those settings as well. So if we come here, you see home button has the ability to double press and press and hold. If you double press, you can change it to a multitude of different apps and actions on your actual watch. And as you guys can see here, there's many options to choose from. Look in here and see what you want to do. You can use Assistant if you wanted to for the double press. For me, I use press and hold as my assistant, but you can also do Bixby. You can do the power off menu. I use Google Assistant on here instead of Bixby. And how to set up Google Assistant is pretty easy. All you have to do is back out, go back to settings, go back to apps, the Play Store, and I'm kind of cheating, but this is another thing you can do. This is how you can also keep your apps updated. So for Google apps or non-Samsung based apps, it's the Play Store, and what you'll do is come in here, scroll all the way to the bottom, and oh yeah, so this is the intro to the Play Store. You'll scroll all the way to the bottom to manage apps, and then once you come into manage apps, it's gonna check for updates for apps. Once it checks, it's going to give you an option here to update your apps. Make sure Assistant is updated. You can also check and see all the other apps that you have on your phone. Once they're updated, then you'll see Google Assistant as an option for the press and hold on in your settings for buttons and gestures. Now, alternatively, if you want to check Samsung apps, what you have to do is come in here to apps. Come in here to apps, and then you come in here to Samsung app updates. Now you guys can see right there, if you click on Samsung apps updates, it's going to use the Galaxy Store and basically check for the apps on your watch to make sure they're updated as well. And everything is, so there's no further updates. And then of course, if you want to check your watch, you come down here and you select on software update, and it'll try to pull an update if one's available or let you know that you're up to date. Something that you can also do on your smartphone. Now you may wonder, how do I get the most out of my display on my Galaxy Watch Ultra? Well, again, if you come in here to settings and we scroll until we find display, we click on display. And right here, you can adjust your brightness. So either you want to do a manual adjustment of your brightness and leave it one constant value. In my opinion, you lose more battery life from that perspective. And this is why I recommend using adaptive brightness, because it allows the ambient sensor to gauge the amount of brightness you need for your watch. That way you can get the most out of your display without having to seep unnecessary battery life. The other option you have is always on display, something I like to use because my watch should always tell time. And this would leave the display on even when your wrist is not directed towards you or you have not flicked the wrist to raise your display or wake up your device. And as you see, raise wrist to wake is active, and other ones that are active automatically is touch screen to wake as a result of always on display. And then you also have timeout options. So show last app within 20 seconds, and your screen will time out around 30 seconds, but you can also push it to a minute if you wanted to. And of course, choose how long the screen stays on when you touch the screen or press a button. And so that's how you can get the most out of your display on your Galaxy Watch Ultra. Another great idea you can use on your Galaxy Watch Ultra, if you use a lot of media and you want to control it from your watch instead of always having to access it on your phone or maybe even through your earbuds, you come into settings and you hit on advanced features. You can scroll down here to the bottom where it says auto launch media controls. And whenever you have media playing, it will automatically launch it to be face front when you activate your display. So in other words, when you raise or wake, it will now show the media controls on top. And let's say you didn't want to do that, but you did want to have an ongoing icon. You can do that here as well by showing an ongoing icon that you can click on. So while you're playing media, you just click on the media icon that will be at the bottom of the display, and then it will bring up the media controls for you. And so those are a couple more options that you have to use when it comes to your Galaxy Watch Ultra to make the most out of your display. The other thing is your status indicators. You can hide after 2 seconds, or you can show always, and that's basically whatever you have going on will display on the top or bottom of your display how long you want that there for. I like my display to be as clean as possible, so that's why I don't have mine on for more than 2 seconds. And that's what you have there. You also have this ability to do disconnection alerts, which will help you to essentially inform you through sound and vibration, or full screen alert with sound and vibration when you've disconnected from your phone. And so that will give you a notification on your phone. It will also let you know on the watch that you disconnected from one another. So let's say you're out and about, maybe at a restaurant and just not at home, and you leave one of your devices behind, you'll get a notification that you did so, and this will help you be able to retrack down your devices. And of course, if you have this in Samsung Find, you'll be able to locate your device as soon as possible and get it so that way you don't lose it. That's a great feature we have here for our Galaxy smartwatches. And here's a quick battery tip for you guys. If you guys come back into settings, and this has to kind of do with your disconnection alerts just a little bit, but it's really more so in terms of location. It's called location. You don't have to have location on, okay? Location does not have to be on. You have your emergency services on, but you don't have to have your location on, because as long as it's synced or Bluetooth connected to your watch, it will be able to locate itself, and the watch will be able to or the phone will be able to locate it. Now, once disconnected, Samsung Find should still be able to find your watch without having a location on. To me, location kind of runs hand in hand with like a mobile plan, because you're then trying to use the GPS and all that type of stuff. Now, if you use your watch to do hiking and a lot of outdoor activities and you want to track your location, then of course leave this on. But for those purposes, I've turned it off because I don't really do those, and I like to prioritize as much battery life as possible on my watch. And if you're interested in more battery tips and tricks, I do have a video for you guys. I'll leave it in the description box for you guys as well. It's a straight battery tips and tricks video to get the most battery life out of your Galaxy Watch Ultra. Now, this one is an interesting one. Samsung Health. And so if we click on Samsung Health, you're going to have a plethora of opportunities here. If you want to record your heart rate on a regular basis, instead of doing manual, you can do measure continuously or every 10 minutes while still. And the other option you have is with stress, where you can measure continuously or manually only. Now, I wish they did have another option here, because I would be more tempted to use that for my stress in terms of doing a 10-minute interval type situation. I think that will work more. You can also make sure you have your sleep stuff situated and what they're measuring while you're sleeping. If you wear this to sleep, I did snore detection once as opposed to all the time. I don't snore, so I could probably turn it off. And then your ages index, it's something that is constantly getting improved, and something that we would like to kind of use as some level of a rough indicator of our health. That's something that I definitely hope that they continue to improve on. You can make sure you detect activities automatically. You can actually choose what activities you want to be triggered, and then you'll get an alert if you need to. So I like this, because if you start walking, and you forget to actually trigger the activity, your watch will trigger it for you. And so I like that. And then you can also choose inactive time, so that way you don't get pinged with, you're inactive, you need to stand up, good job moving around. I just do a simple 10 p.m. to 8:40 a.m. so that way my watch knows not to bother me during that times. And then, you can make visible to other devices, share data with devices and services, and your privacy. Now, what's also interesting about Samsung Health is those multi-workouts that you can do. So if I click home, you have a widget you can use for multi-workouts right here, right? Multi-sport workouts. The other option you have is to actually come into your exercises, and let's say you have one like I do right here. Instead of wanting to start it, maybe I wanted to change my metrics or my reps and how much I'm trying to do. Maybe I want to come here and edit this. This is one of the 99% things, or in other words, the 1% things that you have to kind of change, or it's easier to change on the phone. So if you do edit on phone, your phone's going to now want to bring it up. Uh-oh. And then upon doing that, here's where you can make those adjustments to edit your routines. And I would say it's a whole lot easier to do it on the phone, adjusting those routines and adjusting, all the cool downs, your breaks, the type of exercises you're doing. A lot easier to adjust on the phone. And then, of course, now I'm in here in terms of my exercises, I have some that are starred that I really prefer, using when I'm wearing this watch. And then, of course, you have all these other exercises. And this is something that you can access via Samsung Health on the phone if you wanted to. Phone-wise, as you guys can see, it's a little difficult to find it. Now, here we go. It's not. It's right here at the bottom. So my exercises, they don't call it that per se. But you have a row right here under your little sleep coach here. So it's not too far away down where you can see your exercises, then access them and change them on the phone via Samsung Health. So you can do it that way as well and not even need the watch to access your workouts and edit them. But it's good to know that you can at least edit them and or find where to edit them for the phone on the Galaxy Watch Ultra. And the last thing I want to show you guys is being able to lock your device. So if you come into settings and you come in here to security and privacy, you'll see the ability to lock and what type you can lock it with. And risk detection will allow you to still get, information right as it detects being on your wrist. So I do like that option there. Then you have all your other privacy situations. But in terms of the lock, the types you have is pattern, pin, and as I'm on right now is none. But the great thing about setting a password is, of course, if you do lose this, people won't have access to your watch, A, and B, Samsung Wallet will be now accessible. You cannot set up Samsung Wallet without some sort of password, like passcode or PIN. And so once you have that set up on your watch, then you can access Samsung Wallet, import your cards from your Samsung Wallet on your phone to your watch, and then now you can access Samsung Pay via the wrist as opposed to always having to whip out your watch. And so these are some of the tips and tricks I was able to bring to you guys, some things I could find, some little nifty features and accessibility points that I think are really good and take advantage of the large display you get here with the Watch Ultra, and that does still kind of bring out some of that ultra-ness from this watch itself. So if you guys appreciate it, let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know what some of the features that you guys did use or do use or are actually interested in using from this video. The comment section is open for discussion. Again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure to ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so I'll free that with some videos so you and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. And don't forget to hit that like button, the super thanks button down there, but a like and dislike button, Cash App and PayPal, and check the channel out for all the videos available to you. That's the way to keep tech fresh and alive on this channel. Micah signing out until the next video. Wait for